Hello, photographers. I wanted to show you how to use Lightroom to import your photos. All right, so here is just a basic preview of your Adobe Lightroom. On the left-hand side, you have all your photos and different albums and things like that. And through the middle, we're going to have different views of the photos that you already have. If you haven't imported any photos yet, if this is your first time, that's going to be blank for now. And so at the bottom of the screen here, you've got some different settings here in terms of seeing your photos. So here I've got my photos all aligned. This is from the Extreme Selfie import. So you can see some photos and they're kind of in um, a tiled kind of grid. Then a regular grid is another option. You can have two photos side by side, which is useful for kind of comparing which one to pick, one or the other. You can also choose an orientation of top to bottom if you wish, and a single photo with the film strip along the bottom. Um, as we go through here on the bottom here, we'll have some other things. You can star your photographs, flag them, and things like that. And this little button here helps you see a before and after for the edit. And then over here on the right hand side, you've got your different editing windows, some presets, edits, cropping, healing, masking, and so on. All right, so that's just a very quick tour of the window that you see. All right, so I'm going to bring it back to my grid view and I'm going to add some photos. So you notice on my left-hand panel here, I've got photos that I'm going to import to the cloud. You get a good amount of cloud storage with your Adobe CC license, so we might as well use it. So we're going to import them to the cloud. That way they can be seen that you're calling them up on a laptop at home or in the computer at school, or even on the Lightroom app on your phone. You can always see your photos. All right, so we are going to click this button right here that says Add Photos. All right, you've plugged in your SD card to the SD card reader, and if you should see some sort of SD card icon, and depending on what your SD card is called, the canons are formatted to be EOS underscore digital. So I'm going to call this one up. And on this memory card here, I've got some photos from our light painted portraits or two-face photos. All right, so you see they're already all kind of selected here. You can, if they aren't already, you can highlight them all or hit select all, and you're going to import those photos. One additional step I really suggest that you do is stay organized. Is always add them to an album of some sort. So I'm going to add them to a new album. I'm going to call these Two Face Light Painted Portraits. All right, and then I'm going to create that album. All right, so that way they stay organized by shoot or by shooting challenge as we continue through the course. And then I'm going to add those 36 photos. You'll see it takes a little bit of time to import, and there we have it. So you can see down now I've got all the photos that I just imported, and on the left-hand side and the bottom here, I've got my new album, Two Face Light Painted Portraits with 36 photos in it, which is great. You can do whatever edits you would like to do. You can kind of explore that. We'll talk about that at a different time in terms of the editing that you would like to do. Um, Once you have these photos, you have a couple options to do something with them. Ultimately, what you're going to want to do is once you've imported them and made some edits, you're going to put them into your Google Drive. So in order to do that, you have to actually export them out of Lightroom and then upload them into Google Drive. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to have all these photos right here. Okay, I'm clicking on the album. I'm going to hit Command. All right, I'm going to select them all, click the first one and hit Command A to select them all, or draw a box around them to select them all at the same time. And then here, this button at the top right-hand corner is some export options. All right, so let me show you a few options. So first up, I'm going to export them all as JPEG larges, so they're nice full quality images. And go like that. I'm going to make myself a new folder. You can make a new folder. One thing that is helpful, I'm on my own laptop here, but if you make a folder in your thaw space folder, that way they won't disappear the next day in case you don't get a chance to add them to Google Drive. So I'm going to call them to face light painted portraits, just like I've named them inside Lightroom, and hit create and export them out. Okay, you can see in the top left here, there we go, they're all exported. Okay, another cool feature of Adobe Lightroom is you can actually share albums within Lightroom. So I can take this album and I can share by getting a link. All right, and this creates a link for anyone to view. And if I hit done, they are now shareable, right? And you can see now I've popped up in my, they're both in my album, but they're also in my shared, okay? And so this link for sharing that link, I'm going to just call up the box again. I'm going to click that link, and you can see if you share it with someone in the class to give feedback to me or what have you, it comes up here as a web folder just like this. All right, so that's another option for doing some sharing if you're going to share out some photos you want to get feedback on or things like that. So there you go. Last up, I'm going to show you if you've got your folder that you want to put into your photo folder. So I'm going to call up a photo folder here. I'll use Stella's folder just as an example. Okay, so say I want to add a folder here. I'm going to say two-faced light painted portraits and create that empty folder for now. Open that up, and then I'm going to navigate to the computer folder, the thaw space, wherever you exported your photos to. Here they all are. Okay, you can see all those photos. I'm going to, again, hit Command A or draw a box around them to select them all and drag them up and drop them in there. Okay, and so it takes a bit of a minute for it to start to upload. If there's a lot of photos, it might take a little bit to upload, but there you go. All my items are starting to upload into that folder within the folder. All right, so there you go. There's just a bit of a tutorial on how you go about importing and adding photos first off of the SD card into Lightroom and then being able to share them into Google Drive.